Sunnahfollowers, protectors of the Sunnah. Sunnahfollowers, protectors of the Sunnah.
Alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam Allah, wa rasulullah. Welcome to another session of Sunnahfollowers Hadith class. And this is the class that we teach that focuses on issues that relate or pertain to women in Islam. And I really hope that one of the things that all of you as Muslims are taking away from these classes is that Islam is a beautiful way of life that does not oppress women. As you guys can see, Allah has given so many rights to us women. Allah has raised us up the level of man spiritually and mentally. You know, a woman can attain paradise just as easily as a man. And I really hope that you'll see this in these hadiths. And also, you can see that Allah protected us. He gave us rights that men are supposed to honor and abide by, you know, to show respect to us, to show love and kindness towards us. So I hope that learning these hadiths will help to side those misconceptions out there about women in Islam. And with that said, let's look at the hadith that's up for discussion today. And this is a short hadith, but the source of it is Sahih Bukhari. And it's narrated by Ibn Umar. He said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam once said, the evil omen is in the woman, the house, and the horse. This is a hadith that we hear many Muslims and non-Muslims alike misconstrue the meaning of it, because it's just one sentence. And like I tell you guys, whenever we deal with the hadith, you have to know the whole hadith, the whole history of the hadith, because one person might write like this, or the Prophet said that the evil omen, the woman, the house, and the horse. But there's more that goes to this story. And so what I am going to do now is share with you the whole hadith here. You know, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was addressing how every nation of people has its fire worshipers. And he said the fire worshipers of this nation are those people who claim believe in Allah, but they reject qadr, or the decree of Allah. And that's when he went into all this discussion about how in Islam, we're not superstitious people. You know, we're not supposed to believe in bad luck. We're not supposed to believe in that. And then he went on to say, if bad luck were to have existed, it would have existed in the house, the horse, and the woman. And he said the reason being because these are three things that you never know what you're getting. He said when you buy or move into a new home, all you can see is the outside of that home. You don't know if the foundations are secure. You don't know what's hidden in the house. And he said the same with a horse. When you purchase a horse, you don't know, maybe that horse is lazy. Maybe that horse likes to eat and sleep. So, and then he said the same with a woman. Many men will marry a woman because of her beauty. They're attracted to the woman because of her beauty, but then when they get her home, they realize that she's ugly internally. He said, so as Muslims, we don't believe in bad luck. We believe in the qadr of Allah. But if there were to have been bad luck, it would have been in the woman, the house, and the horse. That's the entire hadith. Does everybody understand? You cannot read one sentence and say that means that women are bad for you. No. He was speaking about how we shouldn't judge a book from its cover alone, not just with the woman, but with the house or a camel, a car. When you buy a car, you don't just buy it because of the beauty on the outside. You have to look underneath the hood to make sure it's intact. So that's the meaning of this hadith. It's not saying that women are bad for you. It's not saying that. Okay, does everybody understand? Okay, comments about this hadith or discussion. Go ahead. Sabrine, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I really like this hadith because it has a lot of common sense and a lot of spiritual sense too at the same time, because it's telling us that we really don't know. We can't say what we're getting by looking at the exterior of something, because it could look one way and be another. Just like a lot of people have personalities where they may seem like they're one way and at the same time end up being very, very, very bad for you to even be around. So, you know, it's that way with every single thing: people, houses, cars, anything material or spiritual or physical. And so that we have to be very, very careful in choosing our friends, our lifestyles, our religion, everything. You have to look within. That's it.
Exactly. And guys, the main point is we don't believe in bad luck, superstition. And the prophet explained to us that it's the nature of the human to be superstitious. But we're going to have to fight against that as Muslims. You know, don't be so quick to think that something is going to bring you bad luck, or because something died or someone was born, it's good luck. You know, that's the same thing with that birthday crap. I'm always reminding you guys of stop celebrating birthday crap. You know, the sun, as the prophet said, the sun doesn't rise or set because someone was born or someone was died. You know, so, you know, everything that happens is through the qadar of Allah, because he willed it to be. Okay, anyone else? Any other comments?
The only thing I want to...
Wait a minute. Hold on for a second, guys. Amina. Go ahead, Amina.
Okay, it's good that you explained that, because like you said, it sounded like they was talking about a woman. Always the woman this and the woman that. Woman ain't no good. And the woman this, and you can't pray, and a dog, and all of this kind of stuff. It just makes you feel like, why, I mean, everything is woman this, woman that. But the way you explain it, you listen to the whole thing, and then when you really broke it down, because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you don't know how I am, I don't know how it is either, whether you a horse, a cow, or whatever, or horses. So that's what I got.
Exactly, guys. And like I said, this is one of the hadiths that the uneducated people try to use against us, you know, but it doesn't work with those of us who are educated. That's again why it's important to seek the true knowledge of your religion, so that when the unbelievers come to you, bits and pieces of our religion like that, and try to use it against us, you know how to shut them down and sit them down and shut them up, you know. Okay, go ahead. Sister, who was it that had the mic?
It was me. The only thing that I wanted to add was that this hadith reminded me of another hadith when the prophet said, whenever you go into something or something new happens in your life, always ask Allah for the good of it, and also ask him to protect you of the evil of it. So that's something that we can also implement, because I remember when I moved into this like new home, like about 2 years ago, I think, since I'm kind of like, you know, materialistic or whatever, when I see something, I just kind of like jump into it without like looking at the big picture and all that. And since this home is like the foundation of it wasn't good, and then I remembered, you know, 2 years ago, I never really like said that hadith. I didn't even thought about it. So now it's just kind of like reminding me, next time, maybe I should make that hadith. Hopefully that'll make a better choice in terms of where I want to live. That's all I wanted to add.
Exactly. And by the way, guys, this hadith is an extension of that one too. Like I said, the entire hadith is...
You sounded messed up again. Go out and come back in.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Is it better? Okay. Is it better now? Is it better now? I mean,
Yes.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yes. I saw what caused it. It said poor connection. So yeah, just let me know when it happens. Yeah. Okay. All right. This hadith, like I told you guys, that if we were to read it in its entirety, it would be 2 to 3 pages long, because that excerpt that Fame spoke about is also included here. The Prophet ﷺ spoke about how whenever you get a new house or a new animal or a new husband or even a new wife, make that supplication, asking Allah to bless you with the good of it, to make it good for you. So that too is part of this hadith. So this hadith is not putting women down. It's not putting women in the category, of being evil or bad. It's simply just one sentence of a very, very, very lengthy hadith that we all need to ponder, which is speaking about basically, as Muslims, we do not believe in bad luck. You can't get married and say, oh, a woman is bad luck. Can't say that a house is bad luck or a horse is bad luck. We believe everything is taqadar, and that's why we make dua whenever we come on something new, even new clothing. The Prophet ﷺ said, even when you get new clothing, make dua, asking Allah to bless you with the good of it and to keep you humble. Don't let it be a cause of you to become arrogant. Okay, so this is a very lengthy hadith. But this is just one sentence of that hadith. Yeah, anyone else? Go ahead. Norto, did you have something to say? Who else is on the mic? I couldn't see who it was. Go ahead. Okay, Dr. Asim just joined us too. Let me read the hadith to him so he could see what we were discussing. This is a hadith, whereas it's really one sentence of a very lengthy hadith. Ibn Umar tells us that the Prophet ﷺ said evil omen is found in the woman, the house, and the horse. And we were talking about how a lot of uneducated Muslims will read this hadith and it means that the Prophet is saying that, but this is one sentence of a very long hadith where the Prophet was speaking about how, as Muslims, we don't believe in bad luck. We don't believe in bad luck. We believe in the qadar of Allah. In fact, he said, if there were to be bad luck, it would have been in a woman or a house or a horse, because you never know what you're getting. These things can be so attractive on the outside. A man could be attracted to a home because of its beauty, but then when you move into the house, you find out the foundations are bad. He said, or a man can be attracted to the beauty and swiftness of a horse, but then take it home and find out the whole horse is lazy. Or a man, he said, and many men fall victim to the beauty of women, and then they marry them and find out that the woman is not righteous. So it's not saying that these things are bad. This is a long hadith. And this is when also the Prophet, in the long version, he went into detail saying that whenever we get anything new, whenever a woman and a man gets married, we should make dua, asking Allah to bless us with the good of each other. Whenever we buy new clothing or whenever we come upon anything new, we should make dua, asking for blessings and the good of it. But this is just one sentence of that long hadith that many people, try to make into something negative. So that's what we were discussing. Would you like to comment, Dr. Asa? Go ahead, the mic is yours.
Oh, thank you, Sister Leila. This is one of the issues that people who do not believe in Allah, they may think about, which is luck. And whatever happened to them, they say this is bad luck, this is a good luck. But as Muslims, we don't believe in that, because everything that happened to us, it is happening because of the qada wa qadar. And as Sister Leila mentioned, you may like something and there will be bad things come out of it. You may dislike something and it will end up to be a good things for your life. So we don't know, but Allah knows. And in order to protect us from all of this issue. So we make dua for everything that we start to have, or something that you purchase, something you start to own, something new to yourself, and even when you get married. So you ask Allah Ta'ala to bring good things out of what you have, and to protect you from the evils of this, because everything in our life has two things, evil and good. So you ask Allah to bring the good and protect you from the evil. But believe in luck, this is not the way we should think about, and we should believe in. And in the meantime, I want to explain something and make it very clear. So first thing, Allah Ta'ala, His knowledge is different from our knowledge, because one of the attributes of Allah is Al-Alim. So يعلم ما كان وما يكون وما هو كائن إلى يوم القيامة. So He knows what happened before, and He knows what is happening, and He knows what will happen in the future. So Al-Ilm Al-Azali. So the knowledge of Allah is unlimited. Is like He's the eternal. So everything can. Allah Ta'ala, His knowledge is like محيط بكل شيء. So everything happened, everything occurred in the past. So Allah Ta'ala knows about it. And when Allah created the pen, so خلق القلم فقال له اكتب in اللوح المحفوظ. This is the اللوح المحفوظ. This is the a document that Allah ordered the pen to get everything. So he wrote like the what is written is everything happened in the past, and everything that was happening, and everything is happening in the future. So what does this mean? So the knowledge of Allah, Allah's knowledge knows everything as if it's going to happen. To understand that, by Allah's knowledge, He knew that you are going to do this, and you are going to have for like maybe an accident, and then you are going to go to the hospital, and then you will heal from that. So He already saw that. So Allah Ta'ala, He already know about this. And if someone say, how come? At the time, Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, one of his hadiths, it says, Zuwiyat liyal ardu, and I saw, and or I am seeing now my nation doing this and this and this. So if the Prophet ﷺ was able to see something that will be happening after 1,000 years, so what about Allah Ta'ala, that is Al-Alim, all knowing? So Allah Ta'ala has known everything and has seen everything. So what we are doing nowadays is something that already known by Allah Ta'ala. So this is to explain to you how the knowledge of Allah compared to our limited knowledge. So in with regard to al-haz, luck. So if you understand that, so there is no luck, because you were created, and then after that you act in a different way, and you met a friend, you had an argument with, you meet another one, you get along with your friend, you went to this job, and you got fired, you went to another job, and then you continue to work, and you proceeded, and then you were successful, and then after that you left city and you travel to another city for another thing. So this is your interaction with your life. based on the condition, the circumstances. And it's already known by Allah Ta'ala, because Allah has known everything that will happen to us. I hope this is very clear. Thank you very much for Sister Layla for this. And as I heard before, so mashallah, you bring something very important for your audience. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah. Any other comments? Yeah, I hope did you guys understand everything that Dr. Asim was saying about this luck? Okay. Here's a question for you, Dr. Asim, from one of the brothers on Facebook. He said, being a new Muslim, he said, I'm in the habit of always saying, oh, wow, I got such bad luck, or, oh, this was bad luck for me. He said, should he not say that anymore now since he's Muslim?
Yes, he shouldn't say that, because what happened is that Shaitan is the one who brings this to your mind. And because if you believe that this is bad luck and the other thing, good luck, so this is something to be, to be lazy, if you believe that you have good luck all the time, or to be desperate when you have bad luck. So Allah doesn't want you to be disappointed. And remember, Allah said, you may dislike something, and there will be good things comes out of it.
Yes.
So, and Allah said at the end of the verse, Wallahu ya'lamu wa antum la ta'lamun. Allah knows and you know not. So never say this is bad luck. Why? Because what you are saying might be wrong, or may be wrong, because you may gain something good out of that, as Sister Layla explained that in details.
Alhamdulillah. Any other questions or comments, guys? Yes, Sheikh Haytham, would you like to share your thoughts on this too?
Yes, about he's saying bad luck, we need to remind ourselves and each other that we have also Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He told us about to start using Salat al-Istikhara, special prayers for if you want to buy a house, or you want to marry, or you want to take a new job. You can use it for everything. So you pray, because people here, they said I prayed it only once. I said, no, it's not only once. Like if you are going for like marriage and you are going to choose life partner, you need to be very generous with the Salat al-Istikhara. You can go ahead with 7 nights. For 7 nights, you can do it every night. And Allah will clear it up for you if you want to go for this marriage or new house. Sometimes you are renting a house, but you want to rent another house somewhere else, but you are not sure about the neighborhood. You can use also Salat al-Istikhara, but we are not using it, and then we say bad luck, bad luck. You blame yourself, you blame the luck. There is no blame. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always available to help us in everything we need. And one day I was with a scholar, and he was explaining everything about the qalam and the qada and qadar, and he said it's always good idea to donate even $1 a day, because this donation, as much you donate for sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and help poor people and needy and masjid and all that charity organization, even if you can only afford $1, then do it. This will with the dua and with the Salat al-Istikhara and donation, if something bad in a house or in a wife or in a husband or an investment or anything in your life, you can avoid it with this donation and with Salat al-Istikhara. So we try our best to make dua for each other. May Allah guide us to the right path, and may Allah make us understand the Islam religion in the right way. We should be happy and say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. It's the first verse in when you read Surah Al-Fatiha, you say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, right? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. What does it mean? Does mean you have to say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen for everything happened to you. You can't say bad luck, you say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And you can say if something really it's out of control and you try to fix it, but you couldn't fix it because it's out of your, like you can't really help much with it, like flooding or something, earthquake, and you just say La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-ali al-azim. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. This will bring comfort to your soul and make you more comfortable. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-ali al-azim and Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Never ever forget these two dua. And Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, if something good happen or something bad, you have to remember these du'as. And Allah make it easy for everybody. Jazakumullah khair, barakallah feekum.
I have a sister here who's asking a question. She says, what do you do if your husband constantly refers to you as being bad luck for him and how ever since he married you, everything's been bad? She said, how does a woman deal with this?
Dr. Asim, you start with the answer, please. Thank you.
Dr. Asim?
Maybe he went somewhere. He will be back soon. That's the biggest problem, Sister Aisha, Sister Layla, when someone is blaming.
You call me Aisha?
This is our weakness. Like, may Allah guide us all Muslims nation.
Yeah.
We cannot find anybody. We should blame ourselves first of all. So I heard it all the time. Some people blame his daughter, blame his son, blame his wife and mother and sister and his father and friends. He never put the blame on himself because this is one of parts of ignorance, you know. This is a sickness. This guy has to go for counseling, Islamic counseling, you know. You have to take him to a scholar and for Islamic counseling. And the wife has to take him for Islamic marriage counseling and Islamic counselor to explain to him from Quran al-Kareem and from Sunnah Nabawiyya Sharifa that what he's saying is completely wrong. He's not even allowed to say that. He can't blame anybody, not only his wife, nobody. So there is not such a thing called, oh, you bring me a bad luck. There's nothing. Nobody can bring you bad luck. It's all, and I told you, it's all about, like myself, I'm trying to fix something sometime because I take care of building service. Sometimes we're trying to fix a door and like someone in between, he come and smash the door, or he come and do something wrong that the whole thing is broken. We can't say, oh, because of you happen or because of that happened. It just happened. It just happened. We have to fix it. We have to run away. But there's not much we can say except she has to take him to a knowledgeable imam or a sheikh or in her community. We can't even if you try to fix it, Sister Layla, online, people online is very hard to fix everything online. She has to seek the Islamic center in her neighborhood and let them talk to the husband. He cannot keep blaming her for any bad things happen or keep saying to her, you are the bad luck. It's very, very stressful and can cause depression for her. And I had a lot of sisters here to complain about this subject to me. I take care of high-rise thing. I met a lot of Muslims every day and they keep complaining about this kind of behavior. And may Allah help everybody. We can make dua for her, but she needs to go and seek help from a sheikh or a scholar as soon as possible, Sister Layla. Jazakallah khair.
Exactly, guys. And again, this is another, she was also saying that this is one of the hadiths that he uses. But like I told you guys, this is one sentence. You know, you cannot teach yourself the religion. This one sentence is part of a 4-page hadith, you know, where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was speaking about al-qadr, the qadr. Okay, he did not say that a woman is bad luck. He was saying that if there were to be such a thing, it would have been in a woman, a horse, or a house, because you don't know what you're getting. But we don't believe in bad luck. Everything is the qadr of Allah. So like the sheikh was saying, you have to seek, you know, take him to a person of knowledge, you know, who can explain to him, because he's not going to listen to me because I'm a female, for one thing. You know, so, and I want you sisters to understand that seeking knowledge of the religion is an obligation upon all Muslims, male and female, because she's saying now that her husband doesn't even want her to learn from me. Of course he doesn't, because he doesn't want you to learn the truth of Islam and the true meaning of these hadiths that he's using to oppress you with. I said, but you have to understand, sister, that you're obligated to learn the deen. He can't stop you from learning, you know, so you need to definitely consult with a person of knowledge in your area who can sit down with you and he both, and maybe he'll listen to him. And if he doesn't, then you know, Allah doesn't lock you in any bad situation. There's a way out. Yeah, any other questions or comments, guys? Dr. Asim, did you want to share? Go ahead.
Just Sister Laila, one thing important you just mentioned before I forgot. I'm sorry to cut you off. You said that trying to block her from your halaqah. He is not allowed at all to block her from any Islamic halaqah, from Quran halaqah. He's not allowed to block her from praying the 5 times. He's not allowed her to block her from halaqah. Halaqah is very important, Sister Laila. She has to be very serious about it. He cannot block her from her rights for halaqah. Jazakallah.
Yeah, she says she's sneaking now. She's over her friend's house now. He won't allow her to play me at home because he thinks I'm a heretic or whatever. But yeah, you heard it from him. This is your right to learn the deen, sister. He can't stop you from fulfilling your obligations, just like he can't tell you to take off your hijab. So you sisters are gonna have to stand up and choose. This is your test to choose. Do you love this man more than you do Allah? Do you love this man more than you do yourself? This is your test and only you can pass it. Yeah, any other questions or comments? Okay.
I have a comment. It's up to the sister to she's here learning her being. She's getting the truth. She knows truth from falsehood, and so it's up to her to make her decision if she want to stay there and be trampled on or leave. It's up to her. Can't nobody. It's your decision. It's her decision. All I want to say.
Exactly. So this is your test. Remember, guys, just because we say we believe in Allah is not enough. We have to prove it. And there's a lot of you sisters in this group here who are coming here and telling me that you have to sneak here to learn from me. Okay, well, you sisters need to pass your test. You know, choose between that man and your love for him, or Allah and your love for Allah. And then your love for yourself. Remember, I told you guys the order of love. Allah comes first. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam comes second. And then you have to love yourself, because how can you save your soul from the hellfire if you don't love yourself? So you sisters have to get rid of this. You know, this is your test. All we can do is answer your questions like we're doing, but we can't jump in your body and get you sisters to do the right thing and leave these abusive men who you're with. And I feel bad for you, but feeling bad is only to a certain extent. Allah is not going to change the condition of a person until that person takes the steps to change the condition of themselves. So you sisters have to think. Okay, any other questions or comments? What about from the Zoom room? Go
I
ahead.
just want to share one thing, Sister Laila, one thing quickly, very quickly. I just tell you my own experience, so we are clear on a clear page, white clear page. I have a daughter, she's 10 years old, and I have a son, he's 9 years old. Their mother, for some reason, she said to them, because I'm taking them to the masjid and to a Islamic special school, teaching them Quran, halaqah, and I seek help from scholars and from Muslim sisters to talk to my daughter and my son and engage them with the Islamic environment. But on the other side, the mother saying to them, "Oh, that's too much education. You have enough, this Canadian morning, Monday to Friday public school education. And now he's trying to take you for extra education on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, which is just on an hour, Sister Laila, but she's still saying, oh, that's too much of knowledge. The little brain cannot take that knowledge. And it's trying to convince these kids not to say, okay, Dad, let's go to the school and learn Islam in the right path, in the right way, as you are teaching all sisters in Zoom meeting and in Clubhouse and Facebook. So I always trying and I keep trying. Same thing can happen to the sister, one of our sisters, when she's trying to teach her kids Islam. And then the father is trying to tell them, oh, that's too much education. You don't need it. You don't need to learn Arabic language of Quran so they can understand Quran in the right way, like 100%. You want to understand Quran and Hadith. It's very good and excellent to learn Arabic. You learn the Arabic in perfect, then you will be more knowledgeable. You will be much easier for you to understand Quran and Sunnah. Okay, you can understand it in English as a translation, but it's much better. But when you have someone like a mother or a father trying to block the other parents from teaching their kids, and then they try to block you from going for halaqah, because when you go with your kids, the parents, like the father or the mother who's attending the halaqah with the kids will benefit from the halaqah, if it's Quran or Sunnah or Hadith, and yourself will benefit too. So everybody's going to benefit. So it's always a challenge in each family. You can find a person in each family now. He's saying, no, you're a bad luck, or you cannot listen to Sister Laila, but you can listen to Sister Shaitan. So what? I go listen to the Shaitan and I don't listen to the one who's going to teach me the right Islamic religion. So this is a big subject. We have to do a special class for it. But I just keep it in your mind. Maybe one day we'll talk about conflict between parents and kids and how to manage the education of Islam. Jazakumullah khair.
MashaAllah, great topic. Thank you for that. Yeah, any other comments? Dr. Asim, are you back or are you still detained?
Yes, I'm here. So I heard the first question, which is someone throwing the word bad luck to his wife, to her face. So I believe he need to work on his aqidah, his tawheed, and his faith, and to believe in al-qada wal-qadar, and not to use this. So if you bring this to his attention, that this may corrupt his faith if he believes really in that. But I want to go to the reasoning behind that. So maybe his wife is doing something, not to satisfy, like she's bothering him, and she doesn't obey him sometimes, and she's a troublemaker, and she doesn't listen, and she do this over and over again. Because I always think about the other side. So maybe try to find out when he say that, what was happening? And therefore, to change this habit, and if you do that, you will not hear this word again. Because maybe the man would say something like this, or a woman also, she can say this to her kids out of anger, frustration, because of also the tradition, because this is the way he was brought up, and he heard his family saying this word. I forgot the second thing. What is the second issue?
The second issue was he doesn't want her to learn from me. She has to sneak. She's over one of her friend's house because he doesn't think that she should learn Islam from me, but he thinks I'm a heretic, basically.
So issue of learning, it is an obligation for Muslim to know their religion. But on the other side, you have to obey your husband. So how do you, how you think about both of this at the same time? So I'll try, if you have something that you didn't know and you didn't learn and you're really in need of this knowledge, so you can learn that, but also you shouldn't disobey him and try to please your husband. How shall you do that? So that's your call. Thank you.
Brother Asma, I'm telling you, that did not feel good. That did not feel good to me.
Well, you know, guys, like we say, seeking knowledge is an obligation. We have to learn the religion, and there is no obedience to the creation over the creator. We obey our husbands. Allah says, unless they tell us to do something that contradicts Allah. If your husband tells you to stop wearing hijab, you don't obey him. If your husband tells you to stop praying, you don't obey him. If your husband tells you he doesn't want you to learn Islam, that he wants you to be his slave and learn only what he teaches you, you don't obey him because you are obligated to know Islam. That's a given.
I understand. But if he give her some alternative, different channel so that she can learn the same knowledge.
Oh no, it's not the same knowledge. The knowledge is that you're supposed to lick the pus on my body. He's one of these men. He wants her to think that she's subservient to him. She has to lick the pus off of him. They go with those weird hadiths. No, there's no other learning for her. They accept what they want them to know, that you are a woman, you're less than me, and you do what I say do, and you have no rights. That's the type of knowledge they give them. They're from that type of methodology, you know. They want to keep the women.
The priority. We have to go with the priority. What is the priority for a female, like
to learn a deen?
Wife is to have a stable family. So if she came to a conflict that I will provide you with the knowledge that you can learn at home or at the mosque. And I don't want you to go to your friends and listen to this other class. So I would say the priority for her is to obey her husband as long as she has the knowledge. But now you're saying it's a different kind of knowledge. That's why I told her it is your call, meaning she can, judge herself and she can do the evaluation based on her condition. Because Sister Layla, if you hear the complaint from one side, we don't have the full picture. So I always say, when
I got the full one, I'm just not saying it.
Oh, my husband is bad. My husband is doing this and this and this. But if we hear the answer or the same story from her husband, there might be something else. For example, I give you an example. Like a wife spend his day watching television and maybe watching Sheikh Yusuf and watching Sister Layla, watching Sheikh Adli, watching and if she spend like her day on these programs, and her kids are around, not clean, and the food is not ready, and they don't have the proper food, they don't have, and also
That's not
she
the
has
same.
to study with them, she has to help them. So that's where the conflict starts. But and then after that they will look at the TV and they say, oh, the computer, and they see Sister Layla's teaching. So Sheikh Yusuf is talking. So they say, oh, so because of this, because of this person, you are not doing your job at home, and they start to say, oh, don't spend your time anymore. So what I'm saying is, we need to hear the whole picture, and the whole picture can be driven only if we hear it from both sides, because we don't know what's going on. So that's why I said at the end, and this is your call, and you can think about it and use your own justification. But the priority, yes, the priority is to obey her husband as long as he let her to get the knowledge. But if she doesn't have any means to gain the knowledge and to understand her religion, so now it's an obligation that she has to seek the knowledge and to get it. But in the meantime, I would say she has to speak to the imam and to talk to him that I'm going to my friend's house because I need to learn my religion, but my husband, he doesn't like that, and he doesn't allow me to do this at home. So she has to find a way so it will not be a big conflict. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, any other questions? But I understand this sister. Her husband doesn't allow her to learn anything. Yeah, it's an obligation, sister. You can't just sit there and not learn your deen. So you have to make your choice, either Allah or your husband. We don't love anyone more than Allah. You have to learn how to pray correctly. You have to learn, what it means to believe in Allah. You have to learn the rulings of menses. You have to learn about ghusl. And if your husband's not teaching you these things, and he doesn't want you to learn these things, all he wants you to do is learn how this other stuff that has nothing to do with Aqidah, then you have to seek knowledge. And there's not that many people out there in America teaching Dawah like me. That is a fact. I don't know anyone that's breaking down Aqidah like me, nor fiqh, nor Hadith. So you have to learn the deen. Allah's going to ask you, why did you not learn? Especially when you knew that there was Layla Nashiba teaching you Aqidah. Because even Yusuf Estes doesn't teach Aqidah. He doesn't teach anything like me, except how about Jesus and Mary. So you have to learn the deen the correct way, sister. And it's not that many people that's teaching it the correct way, not Yusuf Estes or none of them others. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. So choose Allah or your husband. Save your soul from the hellfire or end up in there because you couldn't say no to an abusive man. And we're going to bring up her. She's the one with the PO problem. And we're going to talk about that more on Sunday. And just while we're on this topic, I want to announce to everybody listening, because I got a lot of audience here. On Sunday at 8:30, we will do the series of the marriage, like you guys will speak about the conditions of a valid marriage contract. And inshallah, we'll teach you what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said those conditions are. The role of the guardian, the purpose of the dowry, and we'll answer those questions like what type of questions should we ask before we get married. And I will also share the rest of this story that I was too embarrassed to share before, for us here on Sunday. because it's very important, because this is a huge problem here in America, especially amongst African American women. A lot of African American women are converting to Islam, and they're marrying these fanatical men who are misrepresenting Islam, who want to oppress these women, abuse these women, break these women of their rights, teach them that they're nothing, that they're less than a woman, you know. So this is a big problem. And so we're going to present that, you know, the rest of her story in our forum on a Sunday, inshallah. Like Dr. Assam and Sheikh Haytham said, you need to consult with a person of knowledge. And in your area, where I know where you live, you need to go outside of your area and get some real help from some real scholars of the religion, because where you live, sister, those are not scholars. Those men are not scholars. They're oppressed men. So you need to really get some help. Okay, are there any other questions or comments, guys?
Yeah, I just want to mention, Sister Laila, that when we talk about Sunday, about the marriage program on Sunday, we need to mention the time, because it's very important to tell them it's Eastern, North American time at 8:30, right?
Yes, and I put it on the flyers. Everybody has it on the 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's on the flyers posted.
And also, Dr. Asim, he said, might he come, the husband, with a new proposal and say, okay, I have alternative halaqah for you. So she needs to make sure this alternative halaqah is not Shia or Sufi, Ismaili or Ahmadi, as you mentioned to me today earlier, that where you came from, they are different kind of
Yes.
Islamic, whatever they call themselves Islam, but they are different kind of Islam. So we need to make sure that if alternative show up, that needs to be Sunnah Nabawiyya Sharifa and the right Aqidah al-Islamiyya Sahiha. So she can also give you the information, so you can check it out and make sure it's a halaqah. She can listen to it without any conflict or any future misunderstanding of the real Islam, Sister Laila. Jazakallah khair.
Yeah, because you hear them mention the statistics. People like our brother Yusuf Estes, he's good at saying how 1 out of every 10 Americans is Muslims, how we have so many people converting to Islam every day. But the reality is, check back 2 years, we have a high apostation rate. There's a lot of people, especially American women, who convert to Islam and they end up apostating because of the misrepresentation. You know, because they end up hooking with these bad groups, these sects. They don't learn Islam the correct way. They become oppressed. So that's flip side. Yes, Americans, every 1 out of 10 Americans is Muslim, but how many of those 1 out of 10 are practicing Islam? You can turn on the TV, look at most of the movie stars on television, especially the African Americans, have Arabic names. That should be, they came from Muslim families, but they apostated. They're practicing Islam anymore. Most of these hip hop singers have Arab names. We have a very high apostasy rate here in America because Islam is not represented effectively and correctly. There's a most Sufi groups, and I'm sorry, the Salafism has destroyed it too. This Islam has been distorted due to that, to the one extreme. From one extreme to the other, from the Sufism to the Salafism, people are confused, messed up, destroyed. So that's the reality. So we have to be very careful who we take our knowledge of Islam from, you know, and we have to learn it correctly, guys, because the apostation rate is horrific here in America. Turn on your TV and see. They came from Muslim families, most of them. SubhanAllah. Any other questions or comments? Go ahead.
Yeah, they were looking for you today, but you left early.
Who was looking for me? Dr. Assam?
The room, you joined our room, and then they were talking.
Oh yes, the brothers. Yeah, I didn't know. I had to prepare for this.
They started to translate for you, and then she looked around, Sister Suad, and you're gone.
I like Sister Sawad. I think she's heard of me before, and I think I've heard of her. She's in New York, right? I think I know who she is.
She's an activist.
Yes, I think I've heard of her. Yes, and I had to leave because I had, I did the Quran Tajweed class for the beginners, and then Amina let me know that I had this class, so I had to prepare the Hadith for this one.
Okay.
Yeah, subhanallah, it was just so much, but I said I know this sister. She's in New York. I've heard of her. And that's when she said, she said, I'm so pleased to meet you, Layla. I think she's heard of me too. And I was getting ready to talk, but then Amina said, Layla, you got your class. And I said, you're right. Let me get out of here. I got to.
So inshallah on Thursday.
Yeah, inshallah. Yeah, inshallah. Okay, guys, since there's no other questions or comments.
Invite your people so they can join also.
Yes, I will. Inshallah. I will, inshallah. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead.
I have a question or a statement. I was in there with Layla. It sounded like a bunch of politics to me. The man talking about he all burned up, and it just sounded, I didn't understand. I mean, just put it like that.
Politics or kind of politics?
Well, he was talking about over in Egypt how they burned you up and how that banana, that picture wasn't his picture. I mean, I just really didn't understand what they were saying. Now, what was we supposed to do?
Yes, so Layla, my answer.
Oh, they were, from what we could gather the short time we were there, they were speaking about how a lot of people are converting to Islam, but they don't have any support. There is no support from the mosques or from the Muslims around them. And when people embrace Islam, their families turn against them. And that was what was interesting, how their families turn against them, beat them, torture them for embracing Islam. And then the sister Suad, who I think I know her, and I think she knows me because she said, oh, Layla, it's so good to hear from you. So I think we know each other. But she was saying how even here in America, which is true, we have no support groups for the new shahadas. They convert to Islam, their parents are against them and all of that, and they have no one to turn to. You go to the mosques treat you coldly. The women are worried about whether you're going to take their husbands and all that. And so these Muslims are, like I was saying earlier, the high apostasy rate. They're left to themselves. And they end up apostating from the religion because we're not there to support each other. That's what I gathered from what Dr. Asim and the sister was speaking about. When the men start speaking in Arabic, that's when I kind of got lost. When that one brother was saying, oh, this is about Umar's story. So I didn't know what he was talking about then. Yeah. And that's what I think Amina's saying too.
Yeah. So you guys, you are lucky here being in the United States or maybe in Canada and other like Western society. So if someone wants to choose a different religion and to refer to Islam, you find it easy. You just go to the mosque and embrace Islam. But in the Middle East, it is very, very difficult. So they go through, many challenges, and they go through a scenario of mistreated and torture and abandoned from their family, and they receive many bad, treatments.
Dr. Asman, being that that's a Muslim country, Egypt is a Muslim country, right? So the government doesn't protect these people?
I'm talking about Middle East in general.
Oh my God, they don't protect them?
I don't like to specify a certain country because this is something in this area.
Okay. So, yeah, but
so it is like if you go to like Sham, like Palestine, like the Jordan, like Syria, like Iraq, so it's everywhere. So if someone reverted to Islam, and so the church is going to go against them, and then they imprison them and they torture them, and the family also, they participate in that. So it's a big issue. It is like life and death for somebody. Some of them also, they may end up murdered. So so you are very lucky being in this country.
Subhanallah.
And in Egypt, Dr. Hassan, they are the most difficult. As you know, the Egyptian church, they do many things to stop them to convert to Islam.
This is so sad. Oh, subhanallah. I didn't know that. You know, I'm not suave on what's going on.
No. The Egyptian church in Egypt may be the most one against Islam in the world.
Subhanallah.
I believe in that.
Subhanallah. Oh my God, that's really amazing.
Thank Allah for your freedom here. Thank you.
In general, when anybody sometimes it depends on the family. So if he is from a family, they are extremely extremist Christian, like they are very serious family about church and stuff. Because we host always from Middle East
He's Egyptian,
speakers
Fresno.
from Egypt church. Always we host them here in Canada. They come for a speech. And a friend of mine told me that they are talking about how to be very serious about any Christian Canadian who is trying to become a Muslim, how to disconnect the relationship with them. So some of the people who convert to Islam here in North America and Canada, I see a lot of experience where he become lonely. So I told the masjid people, so he become a Muslim now, nobody wants to talk to him. His own family doesn't want to talk to him because he changed to Islam. So he's very lonely and he's very stressed, and maybe he will go under depression if we don't become his family. So I know that in other countries like Middle East, they torture them, they maybe harm them, maybe they can lose their life, yeah. But here, you know why they cannot do it, because he can call police on them, or he can really take them to court. You cannot really, it's not that simple to just attack a person because he's changing his religion. So they're afraid from the system. The law system here is very strong. That's why they're afraid from doing anything wrong to him or harm him. It's not that they don't want to harm him. They can harm him. They have that in their mind, but they can't do it because it's a criminal record and all that. They can lose their job, lose everything, and go to jail. So emotionally, when they become a Muslim, they're my own experience. I have a number of friends. They have family, immediate family, like auntie or mother or father or brother and sisters. He said, okay, you become a Muslim, and now you take your stuff and leave home. Go live with them in their mosque, pray with them, eat with them, and they are your new family. So it takes like 2-3 years before
they can accept it.
They do like family counseling and family center.
Yeah.
The counselor will explain to them that your son or your daughter has the right to change religion and become a Muslim. But if you don't want to talk to him, he's okay now. He had enough healing, and he's going to start a new life. And normally after 5 years, they change their mind and they say, okay, son, okay, daughter, you can come and visit us. We are family.
That's what I was saying. The unconditional love sets in.
It takes like 5 years for like to go back to normal. Yeah. So it's not that easy in North America. Right. As every family. Some family it's okay. Some like 50-50. Yeah. Depends on the family where you are, how much they are attached to their like right or left extremist. I think you understand me, Sister Layla, right?
Yeah, that's what I was telling that sister Saud in that group, you know, that unconditional love the family has for you. I mean, they eventually do accept you, but it's a struggle. And those new converts need that support system during the process. And this is, you know, Canada has always been more advanced than America in regards to Islam. Islam took off here in America, but when it took off in Canada, you guys established universities and schools and counseling, especially Toronto. The Muslims went into Toronto, and then where you are, the Montreal, a lot of the Muslims from the North Africa came there. You guys are more advanced than we are in Islam and more accepting of Islam there than America. It's still a process here. America is still slowly and trying to accept us. They don't want to accept Islam here, really. They're afraid of it. But Canada is more advanced. You guys have counselors. You guys have the colleges, Islamic colleges and stuff, you know. We don't have a lot of those programs available here in America that you guys have there. You guys have a council of scholars, you know, we have a council of wannabes, you know, it's a big difference, you know. And that's why I tell my students who are in Canada, I tell them don't move here. Because I've had a few of my students say, Sister Layla, I was thinking of moving, you know, no, you're better off in Toronto. You're better off in Ottawa, because Islam here, the racism is really bad here in America still. And we don't have that support that you guys have in Canada. And I tell them, don't leave Canada and come here. Subhanallah. Yes, but I agree with you. I agree with you. But yeah, Dr. Asim, I'm going to check that group out again, inshallah. I left because it was time for this class, but I was really trying to get into it. I was surprised to hear about all that. Fresno.
Dr. Asim, he wants to say something, right?
Dr. Asim, he's probably in his laboratory.
He's doing maybe to make a new kind of medication or something, but
yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, Dr. Asim's a scientist. I love him so much. He's our scientist. Okay, guys, any other question or comments?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm listening to you while I'm doing some work.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for that.
In your laboratory. Are you in your laboratory? Me and Amina were
I told
talking.
you.